Lunch.
You are looking live.
Live at lunch. Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
What the hell's going on out here?
Now, here's Jimmy Ott and Charles Hannegriff.
Yeah, for some reason or another, you sound a little taller on radio.
Is it live? Is it live? Is it live?
From Chris's Specialty Foods on across from Rufino's on Highland Road, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Charles Hannegriff, Jimmy Ott, Max Gotro, Jordan Kinch is back in the studio. Glad you're with us today. First day of June. Hot temperatures, sunshine here at Chris's Specialty Foods.
You don't even know where the hell you are.
I do know where.
You had to pause. We've been on Highland Road. You know why?
I had to catch.
Because you weren't just
you
weren't just concentrating on one game, one team this weekend, and your little brain there was splintered over like 16 sites, over rain delays, over mixed screens, over flipping, over overs, unders, run lines. Your brain's fried today.
Yeah, to my credit, I wrote a lot of it down, okay, because I knew my brain was going to be fried.
You know whose brain's fried too?
What's that?
Those cats in Morgantown. That's a rowdy crew, huh?
Has that been like? I think I spent more time watching that regional than probably any of the other ones. That's been a great atmosphere. They've had some really fun games, a lot of scoring. No, that one's been fun.
I'll tell you who was terrible, boy. Who was just really bad. He gonna get picked number one, but man, he is just before they made their comeback. Two on, two out in the bottom of the eighth. He pops up on the first pitch.
Yep.
I mean, against some guy that's, like the fourth reliever from, not the one that came back, not St. Mary's.
Cal Poly.
No, Poly, slow won it all. It was, no, slow didn't lose a game, right?
No, they did not.
No, but
Virginia Tech.
It was a Cal Poly of the second game? No, that was a loser's bracket game. Who did Cal Poly beat?
Cal Poly beat St. Mary's in the marble game.
No, they did.
The
second game, who was the other team in the regional, Charlie? Virginia Tech game. They're down 1.
Yeah.
2 on 2 out in the bottom of the 8th. That's before, and the guy that bailed him out in Omaha in the semifinals against USC, Levu, he starts it with a bomb to right. And then they started the comeback. They come back and win that, and then he didn't do much, man. We're talking about the last couple of weekends, and remember they came back where they had won 76 in a row after we're leading after 8.
After 8, yeah.
Well, it was 78 in a row until St. Mary's yesterday. Is that unreal?
This UCLA team was actually lucky to get out of Saturday.
That's what I'm saying. The one they won, they were
down 2 runs going to the 9th.
Yeah.
And so you got to ask yourself, when we talk about these Big Ten, I'm going to call it the Big Ten West Coast division, are you overrated? Because you got to play so many of these games against the Big Ten proper, and I'm sorry, it's just hard to have a good baseball team at Minnesota or Illinois or Purdue, and a lot of that is now your conference schedule. Now, on the other hand, USC knocking the crap out of the ball down in College Station, and they're basically in the same schedule boat that UCLA is, and Oregon swept
that's not typical of their lineup.
Right, and Oregon swept through their regional. I know they were at home.
There were some close games. There were some competitive games.
They were competitive games. They pitched their behinds off. They only gave up 3 runs in the 3 games, but it wasn't. They didn't have a lot of offense.
St. Mary's is pesky, man. They did this up in Corvallis last year. Okay, they didn't go quite as far, but they went in there and beat in a rough spot to play. That's a tough place to play in Corvallis, and I mean they upset them. I mean they're a little bit. You watch the games, they were kind of never out of it. Never out of it.
Yeah.
Here goes UCLA, takes a multiple. Man, here comes St. Mary's right back. I mean, could never really put them away. And, now they got the home run in the 9th inning is in the game 1 to knock them out. Remember, I think it was an Oppo job. It was like 3-2 was the final.
Yeah.
But it's just, it's some of the cold weather teams are way better than what they were when they first started, when they're behind everybody else because geographically they're at a disadvantage. Like Milwaukee. Look at their schedule. I mean, their February schedule, and they go in there and they're making a run at it.
It was easy for me to watch their February schedule. They were here.
Yes,
LSU beat the crap out
they
of them.
got 10 run rule. They got run rule by like 7 teams this year.
Yeah, I don't. I would have never figured that a team like that against a team like Auburn. Auburn, if you've been listening to the show, we've been very high on Auburn. Their top 2 pitchers got shellacked. And so did Florida's top 2 pitchers got shellacked. These 2 teams that we've been on, they're both still hanging on, but they got work to do today. And those 2 pitching staffs are as good as anybody's, got demolished. Now their bullpens picked them up, and they're still alive, but they got some work to do. We got 2 number 4 seeds that are through. The number 1 overall seed, of course, is out. The number 9 seed is out. The number 13 seed is out. We could have potentially 2 super regionals that are 3 versus 4. We could have Little Rock against Troy. We could have Cal Poly against Kentucky. All 8 teams that made the College World Series last year are out.
Gone. First weekend.
Yeah, 4 of them didn't.
First weekend's not even complete.
Yeah, 4 of them didn't even make the tournament, and the other 4 got knocked out this weekend.
Coastal Arkansas, who else? UCLA and
Louisville. Didn't make the tournament.
Oh no, they made it. They got knocked out. Coastal, UCLA,
yeah,
Arkansas,
and I can't.
well, like I need you to.
I'm trying to do this year last year.
Max, you see his head? You see that
Yes,
sign that says storage full?
Right. Yes. For sure.
It's fun though, huh? I mean, look, it's May Madness.
Yeah.
It's sorry, March Madness.
All those upsets we didn't get in the basketball, we're getting in the baseball.
Yes, and why?
Parity?
No, it's not supposed to work like that.
Well, baseball leads itself to a lot more upsets than basketball.
Well, the three-point line's supposed to do that, too.
The best team doesn't always win in baseball. Well, a lot of times they don't. It's a much higher percentage. I don't know.
You would take the Intimidator down or something?
No, I don't.
Okay.
I mean, it's pretty nice deal out there. But if you tell me that Auburn is going to send that pitching staff out there and they were down 10-0 to Milwaukee. The next day they're up 10-0 against NC State, and then the pitching staff let them down again. They had to win that game 17-13.
Here's the thing, though. I do have one theory, and that is there's nothing like just a lot of just quality in-game competitive at-bats. And so you play in these pressure, and the pitching gets a little thinner, but even against the rested pitchers, the hitters, when they get into a groove, when they get into a rhythm, swinging a bat, man, they are seeing it. I'm sorry. The guys that are hot, they're coming up to the plate. If they're getting out, they're hitting lasers, it seems like. And there's nothing about just that many live game reps over and over and over that's compressed against quality, all mean something, all significant pitches. And I think that's where the hitters over the course of the weekend have a little bit more preparation, just a little bit more reps, a little bit more of an advantage than just your typical conference series.
And that would include the team that's playing right now, which is St. John's in Tallahassee. Yesterday, they found themselves down 5-0 in the third inning against Northern Illinois.
Now they're thin, though.
Oh,
Yeah.
And then they put a 9 spot up in the third.
Yeah.
And this is after they beat Florida State on Friday night 6-5. So Florida State's got to beat them twice. We've seen this before, Jimmy. Some fabulous Memorial Days at LSU in years past where they had to win twice. Well, that's what Florida State's charged with today. They got to beat the Johnnies twice. Game 1 is just underway, and if they win that one, then they'll play again this afternoon at 3:00.
Their game that got them out the losers bracket. How much pitching did they use?
Not as much as much as you'd think. So they won that game 7-4. They were
Florida State should have deeper pitching in St. John's.
They do. And
Frank Viola's out of eligibility, is he? Or is he?
Well, Frank Viola is probably 70 years old now, I would think.
No, he's not.
He was.
Come on.
Frank Viola was in his 30s in the 90s. I bet you Frank Viola is close to 70 when he's pitching for the Twins. He's pitching for the Twins in
I'd
the
rather
90s.
not think of Frank Viola being 70 years old, to be honest with you.
I bet you Frank Viola's 70.
He is.
I'll let you look that one. Let you look that one up.
66.
66. Okay. Well.
That's pretty good, Charlie.
Yeah.
Shush.
Got it. Southern Miss. God
Man,
bless.
poor Nugget, man. I mean, come on, Southern Miss. How again, it started with Ricky Weeks, beat him and knocked him in a loser's bracket. That cost him a trip to Baton Rouge in a super. The last year against Columbia. And, Little Rock, it wasn't like they just completely gaffed like Nebraska's fielding. The top fielding percentage in the country, and you're kicking it around left and right in Lincoln. There's some teams, Charlie's so jacked up that maybe it throws them off a little bit. They looked by far their best once they got down 11-0 in the elimination game. When they pretty much knew their season was over, then they were just knocking the ball over the place, fielding. So sometimes the whole stage, and this is the fun part, the stage can lift mediocre players, and it can really. I think Chalowski was, and he just, it was. You got to get more out of him, man. Period.
He's supposed to be the number one pick. And who looked the calmest in Hattiesburg? The 4 seed. Little Rock played what I would call 27 high-leverage innings. I don't think that any of those games ever had a bigger margin than 3 runs. So they were right there the whole time.
They won last night, right? They closed it out?
Yeah.
So they're done.
6-3. Yeah, they're through.
Where are they going? They're going to the 8. Yeah, Florida, Gainesville, the winner. Winner Troy and they're either going to Troy or Gainesville.
We watched them last. I got to look all this
You're
stuff up.
funny today.
We watched Chris Curry last year when they were at the box, and they took LSU to a regional finals, the national champions. They took them to the regional final here last year and took a lead in that game, and LSU, it was all LSU could do to come back and beat them. Well, they do the same thing this year. They never looked rattled at any point. I mean, I didn't watch every inning.
No, you're right.
They look completely in command.
How many of those players from last year's team are back this year? How many players from that team got poached by others late, or is it too late? Like, who's the team that you saw? I mean, I don't know. St. John's. You see a couple of their players. Can you get them now? If you're like LSU, just say, a big resource program, or is it too late? Were they able to retain some of those? I know it's not our expertise. You got 64 teams in. We're not thinking about evaluating Little Rock's roster, but that's the whole thing. Are these rosters not being rated, these mid-major rosters not being rated like they are in basketball?
I'm wondering who's going to rate the coach. Curry's 48 years old. This is 2 years in a row. He shook the hell out of some, really good teams. To me, he would be a prime candidate to take a bigger job.
I don't know.
You've done that the last couple of years.
Maybe he should go coach the Thunder.
Oh.
Chad Chalowski,
who
hit a rougher weekend.
Oh.
Dude, you just punk out? I mean, what?
He wasn't
Charlie,
there.
this is your category. We pay. Chad, come see us. We're paying you exactly how much? Paying all this money for what? Wow.
Yeah.
Wimby's good, but dude, okay. Game 5, he came after him, right? Didn't he attack him?
He had his best game in Game 5.
Well, just be aggressive.
He was not. He looked
because the support in a game where the supporting cast was not quite as sharp. What's it going to take? We finally saw that, huh? Where all of those options just didn't perform. Wemby supporting cast outplayed SGA's last night. Easy.
Yes. Yeah.
We can say that, right?
Yes.
Okay. So they need you more. In game identified, man, you're down 16. Something's going wrong right out the chute. So, but anyway.
We're here at Chris, especially if we've got a lot more baseball to do. LSU golf with an unbelievable comeback over the weekend. Max was watching that for us. This is a historic type of score that they shot. We'll tell you about that later on. But
maybe they got great outdoor dining options at La Costa. And also great, spots. So maybe get a massage and a good meal.
You moonlight for the Chamber of Commerce down there, don't you?
It's about a 20-minute ride from Del Mar. So it's Carlsbad. It's beautiful country. Beautiful.
Chris' Specialty Foods here on Highland Road across from
well, we got, how about this? Chef's special today. We do the burgers and the po' boys and the plate lunches and stuff like that. A little crab cake sliders.
Done.
Huh? Well, different like a homemade aioli.
Yeah.
He's got to put, with some leaf lettuce. Just kind of, I forgot. I get all the details, but it's really, really good. They do their soups and gumbos and, always in the warmer at the checkout too. You got the chicken cracklings or the pork cracklings, which are really, really tasty, and so a lot of good things. And of course, Charlie, what you get every Monday? It's every Monday you got to get, or every other Monday you got to get your chicken, huh?
Stuffed chicken.
You like the boudin, right?
We like the boudin, but we like them all really. But boudin is our favorite. You get the rice dressing, you get the spinach, you get the crawfish. They've got about half a dozen different items that you can choose from, and we're big fans of that. And it's an easy cook. You get the non-frozen. You get it right out of the refrigerator. Pop that in, man. 40 minutes later, you're eating good.
It's good stuff. Seasoned well, man.
Yeah.
You don't have to add any salt or pepper to it. Really good stuff. Just some of the many things that we have over here, man. The salads are awesome. Some of the best cabbage with the pork crumbles in it. You talk about really good. The green bean casserole. They do a crawfish pie, a crab pie that are easy. Just throw them in the oven for about half an hour or so. So, you got seafood, beef, pork, chicken, the steaks. You name it. With so many things. And the thing about this place, man, it's clean too. So it's real good. It's just you got to try it out, man. It's easy to prepare the specialty foods over here from Chris's.
Game number 1 is underway. Florida State is the road team. St. John's needs 1 win in 2 games to knock them out and become the 3rd, 4th seed to advance to a
for the Redmond
regional.
Walter
no
Berry.
Score in the top of the first inning. Coming to St. John's coming to bat. Live at Chris's, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny. Live from Chris's Specialty Foods on Highland Road.
And we return here at Chris's Specialty Foods. Remember, you can always get the show on demand, 1045ESPN.com, LouisianaSports.net. Brought to you by Supreme Rice, celebrating 90 years in business here in 2026. Supporting our Louisiana farmers, go to SupremeRice.com. The Georgia Bulldogs keep taking care of business. We watch them. They win the SEC regular season. They win the SEC tournament. And for the most part, they cruised through their regional. They had an easy win in game 1, and I would call it comfortable wins against Liberty in the other 2 games. The only hiccup that they had was yesterday in the 6th inning, down 1-0. Trey Phelps, who was one of Georgia's best players, hit a 2-run home run to make it 2-1, and going around the bases, showboating a little bit too much, gets thrown out of the game. Wes Johnson comes out to defend him. He gets thrown out of the game. And here's the thing for Trey Phelps. He is suspended for game 1 of the Super Regional against Mississippi State. This is a monster loss for Georgia. He's hitting .370 on the season, 19 homers, 57 runs batted in. That's the 3rd highest batting average and the 2nd highest home run and RBI totals for Georgia. They just keep on keeping on. Maybe they should be the favorites to win the national title right now. I don't know. But you take one of the big Thunderbats out of that lineup for game 1, and that's a big loss. Jimmy, did you –
Who they matched up with?
Mississippi State.
Yeah, State looked good.
Yeah. First of all, what did you think of the ejection?
Man, this has been coming. They've been flirting with it. I think of Coach Roger Kayor all the time. You're talking about let them have fun. It's become more relaxed. There's no doubt. You don't see the guy who's you bat flip or stare down. The worst to me is when you're sitting there staring at it, sitting in the plate, and it comes off the wall. No, you gotta run, man. Let it clear the wall, then you can start. Don't affect your team. But it's been kind of seeing it coming, and it's more and more. It's unbuttoned shirts. It's massive chains. The chains are bigger than Flavor Flav's clock. This guy. It's Phelps. It's his. He's got his number 1. It's a single-digit chain. This thing is as big of a frisbee, man. It's Hairston. He is a quick trigger. He was lighting it up for Arizona State up in Lincoln. And, I mean, he gets the call third strike. Well, I don't know if you were listening to the squeeze play guys, Rooney and them, they had talking about ABS. Well, you don't have ABS. So you can't, if you go nuts on the umpire and you argue balls and strikes, what is it? You get tossed.
It's automatic. Yeah, it's supposed to be automatic. You give them a little bit of leeway, but it's supposed to be automatic.
Yes,
and you can't flip the bat in the air 10 feet. That's where you lose me. You want to argue a third strike.
They've had a lot of guys flip them 10 feet that didn't get tossed.
Well, okay.
LSU.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot. It's a lot. It's going to be. It's getting to a point where, okay, what do we do? I mean, what do you just throw the ball in the stand? I mean, throw the bat in the stands. I mean, what do you? I mean, you do a Savannah Bananas act, in between home and first. I mean,
if you're gonna complain about the call, and I thought the pitch was up and in, but look, umpires miss calls. I'm going to give them a little bit of leeway because it's the postseason and say, hey, where was it? Come on, man. I'm going to give him but if you flip the bat 10 feet in the air at the plate, you've given me no choice as the umpire. I got to run you.
Charlie, they had choice during the regular season. You see it all the time, not called.
Yeah. Well, it should be.
I don't.
Well,
do you want it to be?
No,
you want it to be.
So
I don't want you throwing a bat up in the air.
So you like the rule?
I'm not wild about the
Charlie,
rule, but I can't have everybody that
you got to know the rule. You got to know what you're enforcing. You got to know you tossing this guy for the next game too. So that's this game and the next game. We're in a tournament now. I've sit there and watched these guys during the regular season did it, and they look the other way.
Yeah.
I mean, once the rule is the rule, and I mean, you get don't be the show.
I don't want the umpires to be the show either.
Okay, you got more of a story now than if he just threw the bat and then he let him go, right?
Yeah.
And
okay.
The Georgia situation, it looked like he got ejected after he kind of turned around and jawed back at the first baseman, who was also jawing at him to kind of get around the bases.
And then the Liberty coach says, well, he's jawing at us, and they asked him, well, what did he say? Well, I don't know. Well, okay. I would have liked to have seen them give Phelps a warning and say, look, we're going to let you wave at the fans. We're going to let you trot down the first base. It took him almost 30 seconds to get around the bases. By the time you get to first, it's like, come on, let's go. And give him a little bit of a warning. The kid that threw the bat at the plate, I got to run him. You can't do that. You can't throw the bat 10 feet in the air at the plate.
That's fine at your stance, but where it's flawed, Charlie, is you want inconsistent enforcement. Because that's what you want. Because most of the time, they're not tossing them. I've watched the games. They're not tossing them. The vast majority.
I haven't seen somebody throw the bat that high that did get run.
I'm telling you, they have done it.
I haven't seen it, but okay, well, I believe you.
Come on, you watch enough college.
I watch a ton of college baseball. A guy flipped the bat up 10 feet in the air at the plate.
Charlie, Seth Gardner flipped it into oblivion. He outer space, and he got to stay in the game.
Well, they should probably.
There's your example.
No, there's a lot of them.
Yeah.
There's a lot of them that you can't. I just can't. No, I don't want inconsistent.
And
all
against
of a sudden,
Kentucky, where the things get emotionally charged as is.
Who's Kentucky playing the first game? We're watching across the street, 11 a.m. on Friday.
Wake Forest.
Okay. Wake Forest guy hits a home run. Kentucky guy is screaming at him, the first baseman.
Yeah.
He didn't do anything. What's being said before, but so there's a lot of this in the college. There's a lot of jaw-jacking in the college game, and Mingione is perfect for that setting in West Virginia because he never misses. His teams never miss a little angle, but he pushes the gamesmanship to the nth degree, and where you're absolutely it's delaying a game. It's just it's becoming. You got to put rules in. You need to watch him manage a game. The enforcement, the rules committee. So you try and put in some of these rules to, speed up the game, and the games reduce the amount of times you throw the ball over to, over to first base and stuff like that.
Of all of the games I'm looking forward to today, Kentucky West Virginia is probably the top one because I think it's
Charlie,
such a good.
You just watch the Georgia games alone this year, and all those balls that are just. They're 7,500 feet clearing the freaking walls, feeding the trees, okay? Where the ball just flies out. Just their games alone, you'd have seen this 10 times.
Okay. I believe you. I haven't seen it that egregious at the plate, right at the plate. But, okay.
I'm telling you, Seth Dardar, that's your example.
You don't remember his?
You've seen it.
Vaguely,
you covered the team, don't you?
I do. And I remember him throwing it, and I seem to remember thinking that he probably should have gotten run for that. But I don't. I don't remember it exactly, but yeah, if you thought
This is
I'll stand on
it's
this.
way more common than it used to be. Way more.
If you are arguing balls and strikes and you throw the bat 10 feet in the air at the plate, yeah, you ought to get run.
The balls and
two
strikes,
separate
I'm with you.
things. There's two separate things.
I'm with you on the
Kid
balls and
Hairston,
strikes, yeah.
who was by far the best hitter this weekend in where I'm losing it in Lincoln, by far the best hitter. I mean, he's the top of the lineup. The bottom of the lineup's not as strong. He's so important. I mean, you tossed him. I mean, it was a ball, and it was. But you can't argue balls and strikes. I mean, you can't do it. And I thought it was a little quick trigger by the umpire. I got to tell you. I mean, did you see it? I didn't see where he could. Where I've seen cases where you show up the home plate umpire on a miss called strike three before. Yeah, way before, and he didn't get tossed.
And there's a big difference between. Come on, Blue, where was that? And are you effing blind? There's a difference in how you argue balls and strikes.
Don't say the word you. Don't say you. That'll get you wrong quick.
There's a lot of different and umpires. Some of them have a quick trigger, and some of them are a little bit more tolerant. So, I thought that one was a little bit egregious. That Lincoln Regional, Nebraska only lost one game at home the whole season. They lose 2 in basically 30 hours to get them knocked out. And that was after Ole Miss had gone till about 1:15 in the morning in that 14-inning game on Friday night with Arizona.
I've seen
State.
some of these amped-up teams, especially at home over the course of the season too, Charlie, where the crowd goes nuts when it's called strike three. And that player is really all in that home plate umpires, and they eat it a lot of times.
Yeah.
So this was just not what we've seen consistently enforced over the course of the season, and that's why I have my problem. I want to see Harrison. I want to see Phelps.
And I want to see all these players, too. I don't go to see the umpires. I'm with you on that. So I understand what you're saying, and we don't like inconsistent umpiring either. Arizona State, Nebraska had a chance. They had to suspend that game coming back 6-3. Ole Miss had the lead. They came back to play the 9th inning on Sunday. Nebraska got the tying run to the plate twice.
Oh, really? They batted in.
They batted in the
bottom
ninth.
Of 8th and 9th.
No, it was the
top 8, top 9.
Ole Miss was in the top of the 9th. Walked to open it. Strikeout. Nebraska goes to the plate. They get the 7 and 8 hole hitters get on.
Okay.
The 9 hole hitters up with nobody out. And he gets a 1-0 count. No, he swings away 1-0 and he grounds into a double play.
Oh.
And then they walk the next guy. They bring the tying run to the plate again, and they're not able to get there. So they had their chances.
Yeah, because I thought only both teams had one at bat left. Yeah, it was.
So they got him out in the top half. And
the number 9 hitter, you're not going first and second.
He'd already put 2 runners on, and it's a 1-0 count. It's like take a pitch.
Okay, you can take a strike.
Take a strike. Yes, yeah. That's where I was with that, and didn't get it done. And then Ole Miss has got to come back. Ole Miss wins 2 extra inning games in that regional because it took them 10 innings to beat Arizona State in the final. Yeah. So give the Rebels credit.
Rebels had a lot of opportunities. It was like kind of bound to break through. So they were a little bit better team than them. Hunter Elliott got hit a little bit. He's when Max pointed out that he had an ERA over 5 for the season, that surprised me because he's been pitched pretty good. He's been solid.
He faded a little bit late.
He's not a shadow of what he once was.
Yeah, he faded a little bit at the end. Ray was the one that pitched his behind off in the second game.
Don't forget our friends at Legacy Title. Chad Reynolds, Legacy Title for all of your real estate closings. 296-0060. Full service title company servicing all of South Louisiana. Our great team over at Legacy Title will execute your deal seamlessly. Ashley Donald, Adrian Galata, Michael Platt, Mariana Haynes, Natalie and Bradford Smith. Buying, building, refinancing. Nobody chooses but you. Choose Chad Reynolds at Legacy Title, 296-0060.
No score, middle of the second, Florida State and St. John's. Florida State must win twice to keep themselves alive today. Live at Chris's, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny. Live from Chris's Specialty Foods on Highland Road. Jimmy, Charlie, and Troy. 3 best buddies sitting around talking sports bets. Let's welcome in Troy Macker from Bet Rivers.
Troy, what's going on, buddy?
Nothing much. Just settling in for a week. Feel like I got a lot of time at the pool with my kids, so wasn't as dialed in as I'd like to on the weekend of sports. But it's also a little bit of a transition time as we head towards the summer. So I'm excited to jump right into the Knicks Spurs. Obviously, get caught up on college baseball, and one thing I'm looking forward to, which we're still about 10 days away from, but is the World Cup.
Well, you had a chance to watch some of the Game 7 Saturday night, huh?
Yeah, some of it, but mostly the first half. Kind of feeling the sun. Did some had some adult beverages outside, so wasn't able to stay up super late. But also, the game felt like it had already been decided heading into the fourth quarter. That's kind of the problem with some of these NBA playoff games is even in Game 7s, and I was very excited to watch it. It's not that the teams give up, but sometimes the leads feel insurmountable, even at 13. Even when we've seen teams come back from 28 points, it just felt like every time the Thunder tried to make a run, the Spurs just had an answer.
Okay. I mean, I'll tell you what. I mean, Chet Holmgren, man, that was he's got to. I don't care. I mean, you got to do better, man. And that's the thing. I'm getting on Wemby too, man. Some of the he's kind of inconsistent on sort of his approach, how much he wants to mix it up down low, but. In the end, I think it's pretty clear. Wembanyama's supporting cast was way better in Game 7 than SGA's. Completely different style of players, the position, the whole thing. But and that's the thing where OKC is so good is because they have so many options, they have so many players. And I know they were down a couple of players as well, but when have we seen them in a big spot where their supporting cast did not come through? So. Interesting. Now, I'm interested in the line movement or the shift because we were hearing some. If San Antonio won the last two games, the odds makers were going to make them right around a 240, 250 series price winner. Is this anticipating some Knicks action, or where are we at right now exactly with the series price? Because I know it's not at 250.
No, it's at 200. And I thought it'd be a little bit longer. I thought. Knicks would be around plus 200. They're plus 170, and I think that has a lot to do with the betting public on New York. And if you were to give them 2-1, even 3-1, the liability would be through the roof for the sportsbook. The Knicks will be the public team, I think. Right now, it would be far more advantageous for the sportsbook for the Spurs to win the NBA Finals than the Knicks, even though I think. The Spurs odds at the beginning of the year were far longer than the Knicks to win it all. I think the Spurs were thought to be potentially a year away from this point. And the Knicks are maybe not to the level of public team that the Lakers are, but in lieu of the Lakers, they're the most public team east of the Mississippi, far more than the Celtics ever have been. And they generate far more public notoriety and acclaim than Celtics and save the Lakers. That's it. So I think the market and how much people are wanting to jump on the Knicks here is part of the reason it's a little bit shorter than people thought.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, and the one thing about the rest versus rust thing, we saw the last time the Knicks came off of a nine-day layoff, where they were extremely rusty, and they play 40 minutes like that against the Spurs. They're not going to be able to pull one out like they did against the Cavaliers. And also the time in between, the Game 7 and Game 1. So the Spurs have some days off as well. But I'm just, it's just a classic case where it's a team that can't beat their competition, their opposition, any worse than what they've done. But that competition is just not close to what they're going to face in this final. So forget all the nonsense and the Knicks, and I guess the thing we struggle with, for how many years has their front office been a joke? Well, this roster is not that bad that they put together. Okay, how many times you fire Thibodeau and you bring in Brown? We've seen Brown. I mean, he's average. I mean, okay, but he's done some things where they're playing better, and it's. The Knicks' history has affected maybe some of my evaluations of them, but we all know. I think it's a tough. I'm conflicted with it. I don't know if we're going to get kind of a workman-like six game win by this Spurs in 6. I would think that's the most popular outcome. When you could pick the Knicks in 4, 5, 6, or 7, or vice versa. I would think the Knicks is probably the smallest price when the Spurs win at 6. But I just don't know. I don't know how much the Knicks are going to push the Spurs here.
Yeah, well, so, the shortest prices on series outcome is Spurs to win 4-1 or Spurs to win 4-3. Both are at plus 350. And then you're looking at Knicks and Spurs, either team to win 4-2 is at plus 500. So Knicks says the Spurs to win in a gentleman's sweep 4-1, or if they go 7 is actually the shortest. But I would think it would be 4-2 as well. I am a little bit hesitant to the idea that this is Spurs in 5, or I could see Spurs. I just think the Spurs took a beating. I mean, I know they're healthy, but those were physical games. Wemby is a slight person, and I just think that the Knicks are a older, more physical team. I think they're more explosive. They have better athletes, in my opinion. I mean, Josh Hart could go to war against anyone, no matter the size. McCall Bridges is the same way. Jalen Brunson is very physical. Karl Anthony Towns is big. He's, I just wonder if, we talked last week about what the game 1 price would be if the Thunder make it or if the Spurs make it. And I think it was like, if it was the Thunder Knicks, it would have been Thunder minus 4.5. And if the Spurs made it, it would have been Spurs minus 3.5. It's now Spurs minus 5. And I would be more than inclined to bet on the Knicks plus 5 in game 1. I think they could get blown out, but I think that this is going to be their best shot. And there's a lot of emotions taking place. They had to go 7, the Spurs did. I would be very hesitant to take the Spurs to cover 5 in game 1 against a Knicks team that, like you said, albeit against bigger competition, is just very explosive.
A couple of things there. I saw 2 different lines that you could have bet on earlier. In OKC in game 1, if they advanced, was 6.5, and if the Spurs advanced, they were 4.5. So I did see that, and I saw like 270 and 240 on the series price on the OKC. As far as the shorter price, it's not game 6 because that's, I should have been smarter when I brought that up. The betting public is not thinking that they're going to clinch on the road. Game 6 is in New York, so that's the thing there. That's why it's bracketed where 5 and 7 or shorter prices. Then 6. The Knicks have a history of losing a lot of games at home, though, so I don't know. But anyway, there's a lot of Knicks history we're trying to forget in this whole thing. And it's going to be I tell you what, Commish is happy. That goofy-ass tournament he put together in November or whatever, it's a rematch. Is it Spurs looking for revenge, Charlie? Is that an angle here?
No, that's not why he's happy. He's happy because
he's got the number 1 media market
against
and
the guy's going to be
player.
The guy's going to be the face of the league for the next 10, 12 years.
He's got the fresh, new face. Also, they're trying to go international. Does this help where you got a guy that's
absolutely it does. And I'll tell you something else is San Antonio has put this team together with 3 lottery picks that they got. They're the only team to do that in the last 15 years where you tanked, you got the lottery picks, and you won it, okay? All of these other teams that have tanked, largely, I think they've won 2 playoff series between them in the last 10 years. So you're changing the lottery system at a time where it's like, it only worked once, but we're going to change that, and we're going to fix it to where everybody's got more of a chance in this thing. We don't want to see so many teams trying to lose games. I think that's a.
They're trying to save the regular season. It's come on. It's
a way. We don't even watch. We really don't watch that much.
No, we don't pay one bit of attention to the regular season. What's that, Troy?
So I have a question on that. You guys have stumped me. So you said 3 lottery picks the Spurs have. They have obviously Stephen Castle and Victor Wembanyama. Who is the 3rd lottery pick they drafted?
Harper.
Yes, of course. Okay. Because I was thinking De'Aaron Fox, but he was drafted by the Kings. Okay.
Right.
Yeah, there's plenty of these guys that have won for somebody else.
Hey, you know what?
Yeah.
Fox is one of those guys. He was terrible in Game 5. Yeah. He was much better last game. Caruso, you can't have that. But, when that guy, you paying all that money, and he was the prize of the tanking one year, was Chet Holmgren. Okay? So that guy to not attempt a field goal, not attempt a shot in the last 3 quarters of Game 7, man. So, he I know it's impulsive and it's reactionary with all that draft capital to not try and include him or to think about including him. But dude, he's got to show you more. Is there a bigger spot than a Game 7? I mean, he was good. He was good last year, but Wemby. I mean, okay, we go get knocked down, dude. I mean, go mix it up.
He was on the third team All NBA, and he played 70 games this year. I mean, he up until this point, he's done what you wanted him to do. But that's
Wemby
bad.
was playing Game 5. He attacked then.
No, I'm right.
So it's puzzling. I
don't want to throw the baby out with the bathwater. Holmgren's done a lot of good things, but Saturday was bad.
Saturday was inexcusable. Inexcusable. All right. So we got that. The 5 right now is the number. Interesting. What else is what highlights of over the weekend, Troy?
Yeah, well, in your neck of the woods, obviously, College Baseball World Series regional delivered some wildly shocking results, obviously, with UCLA going down.
Yeah.
The interesting thing is, it's rated very high in terms of our weekend handle. If you go back to Friday when we took more money on the College Baseball World Series. Now, granted, there was a litany of games, but we took more money than we did on Charles Schwab Classic, and actually, you could include the DP World Tour event, which we do take money on. And the two biggest golf tournaments, we took more money on College Baseball World Series. All international soccer, save the Champions League final, we took more money on college baseball. We took a healthy amount of tickets, about more than we did on the Champions League final on college baseball regional matchups. So again, lots of games, but it is a niche tournament. So it is heading into it as a little mum on what the betting would be like. But in retrospect, it was a very healthy number for the first weekend that yielded some very fun results and some very, very fun highlights.
It's May Madness, Troy. I mean, where March Madness is, Cinderella is going. She's moved to May, so that's where because we're seeing more upsets in the baseball, and they try and poach the mid-level players. I guess they're not doing it enough because Cinderella is very much alive in him. How about that, Troy? I know we talked about it earlier, but the teams that made it to the College World Series last year, 8 of them, all 8 are already eliminated this year.
Really?
So,
yes. I did not know that. That's wild.
Yeah. First weekend's not even complete.
The Jello shot wall this year.
Yeah, they're going to have to totally redo the Jello wall.
Jello futures are down.
The good thing at Rocco's, the Jello board is a dry erase board. Follow Troy on Twitter at Troy Macher. That's Machir. Great stuff, Troy. We'll talk to you Friday.
Thanks, guys. Talk to you soon.
Yes, indeed. And don't forget our friends at Dana Brown at the law offices of O.C. Brown, your law firm for a lifetime. 343-1111. You get in a wreck, man, it is pain in the rear end. And what Dana is going to, he's going to take care of everything for you. Schedule doctor's appointments, pay for the doctor visits. You got to negotiate with the insurance company. He's going to take as much of the pain out of this process as possible. Never a charge for that initial consultation. 343-1111 and OCBrown.com.
Live at Chris Specialty Foods, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch with Ott and Yanni, live from Chris's Specialty Foods on Highland Road.
And return here at Chris is also brought to you by Louisiana Health and Injury Centers. If you're hurting, Dr. Michael Goff and his staff help you out. They've done it so many times for our family over the years. So if you got back pain, neck pain, muscle soreness, things that are keeping you from getting around as well as you'd like or preventing you from getting a good night's sleep, let them help you out. They'll get you into a program that will target those problem areas, get you to feeling better. Airline Highway, Plank Road, Jefferson Highway near Drusilla. Dr. Michael Goff, Louisiana Health and Injury Centers. Jimmy, it's comeback season. You ready? 2 comebacks. One of whom you're going to go, oh, okay, and the other one you're going to go, really? Which one you want first?
I don't care.
Odell Beckham going back to the Giants. He has signed a contract. 33 years old. He's played in just 9 games over the last 2 years. He was suspended 6 games last year for PEDs. The year before that, 24, he appeared in 9 games for the Dolphins, 9 catches for 55 yards. Giants are wide receiver needy. OBJ got anything left? What do you think?
He's seen his better days, and it's a guy too that in that Super Bowl against Joe Burrow and the Bengals. I mean, he was probably the in-game leader for MVP between him and Stafford to catching that touchdown in the first half, and he was him going out in that game was a big factor because they were having a hard time guarding him. Want to say he catch the winning touchdown in the conference championship game against San Francisco also?
Might have, yeah.
Okay, so I mean, but how long ago was that?
It's a 22 season.
Yeah, and it's just that injury, and it's he's just not what he used to be. I mean, not close. I mean, Jerry Rice with Seattle. You know what I mean? I mean, just
when I think of why Beckham was such a great receiver, I think of one word: explosive. He was explosive, and after this many injuries, you just don't have that explosiveness. No. Rice could still run routes at 42 better than anybody. He still had the best pair of hands, and Jerry was never the fastest receiver in the league to begin with, so he aged really gracefully. Beckham counted on his explosion. I just don't know that explosion is ever going to come back for a guy that's 33 years old.
He was explosive enough to where he was one of those handful of guys or whatever that dictates coverages. I mean, he did. You had to give your guy extra help, or they're going to him. And I mean, whether it's Calvin Johnson, whether it's Tyreek Hill, I mean, the really super, and he was one of them. Jamar Chase. I mean, you got he dictates coverages, and that's powerful. And those days are long in the rearview mirror.
The other comeback that I know you're going to be really happy about because I know you've missed her so. Serena Williams is coming back to play in the Queen's Club tournament in London. I know one of your favorites, right?
She's one of the all-time greats. I mean, there's
44 years old, has been out of the game for 4 years. She's coming back to play doubles. Coming back to play doubles.
Yeah, it's not.
Okay, it's a non-story then.
Yeah, well, it's Serena, so it's a story, and I know you can't.
And I know you can't respect to the Skupskis. So
I know you can't stand her, so I thought I would bring it up.
I respect her, but
sure.
She's not one of my favorites. No.
Hour number 2, straight ahead here at Chris's Specialty Foods on Highland Road across from Rufino's. Live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch with That and Yanni. Live from Chris's Specialty Foods on Highland Road.
Return here. Chris's live at lunch. Thank you for being with us. Say, come by and see us for lunch. Would you say crab cake sliders?
Yeah.
That's the special
homemade chips or fries, your choice.
We're going to get a little bit of that when we finish up the show here today. So many different choices here at Chris's Specialty Foods. We're bringing home some of the stuffed chicken. We try it with boudin, try it with rice dressing, you try it with crawfish, try it with spinach. Our friend Fedinki has tipped me off to the bacon-wrapped pork tenderloin with jalapenos.
Really? That's good.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I've had a little bit of that on the way out as well here at Chris's Specialty Foods.
I see you, Charlie.
Yeah.
I love that dude in that Hyundai commercial, sitting there with his shades and the open air little cafe. Yeah. Okay, Hyundai. My man. I laugh at that commercial every time it comes on.
Florida State leading St. John's 1-0 in the fourth. That is game one. If Florida State wins it, they'll play again at 3 o'clock. If St. John's wins it, they will move on to the next round. We've got at least 6 games and maybe 7 today on the final day of the regionals. And we may actually see some number 1 pitchers due to some circumstances over the weekend.
Friday?
On Friday, yeah. One Friday and one Saturday. The Friday is Auburn. They threw Jake Marciano, who's been running one for them the last month of the season. He only threw 29 pitches, gave up 6 runs, and they got him out. I would think that 29 pitches in 2 days rest, he would be ready to go for Auburn. And West Virginia, who held Max Yield, who was the Big 12 pitcher of the year for the game on Saturday, but in that game on Saturday, he left in the first inning with an injury. But, Max, you got an update on him. He was throwing on the side, and he could very well come back and pitch this game tonight against Kentucky.
Yeah, the coach, Saban, suggested that he could be good to go, that they tried to warm him up a little bit yesterday during their Wake Forest game. He said he went in the bullpen, and Yale said he was felt fine, way better than he thought. It was a shoulder tightening issue, some muscle spasms. but he said that this was as of yesterday. He said, I wouldn't be shocked if we can get this thing to Monday, that Yale could potentially be in a game.
And we could see Ben Cleaver, the Slim Reaper, for a Kentucky comeback. He didn't throw very much in his first outing of the regional.
Correct. He got roughed up in that game as well. Let me see
That's
what
the guy that started game one, the tall right-hander?
It's not Jelkin.
No, that's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah,
okay.
Jelkin. But Cleaver was a Friday night starter for a while for them last year.
Cleaver threw 23 pitches yesterday, did not get out of the first inning. 3 walks, 3 earned runs.
They had a lot of walks that scored in that comeback. What was Kentucky's biggest lead yesterday in the game against West Virginia?
I'd have to go back and
they
look.
led
I don't remember.
9-6.
9-6 in the ninth inning, and they gave up.
Yes.
They gave up 3. I think the game tie-in run scored on a balk, and then the next guy hit it over the bullpen in right field.
Yeah, but 5. I mean, they were 9-6 going in.
Yeah,
and lost 11-9.
11-9's the final. Yeah, they you see the dugout. I'm sorry, the bullpen catcher climbing the fence, hanging on at full gear. I mean, these guys are going to put that. You see him up on the hill. Hanging out.
Yeah.
Charlie wants to throw him out of the game, I guess.
I do not want to throw him out of the game. If he doesn't throw a bat, I don't have a problem.
But I got to tell you, man, this is where college baseball is. It's got some. The ballparks are so they're varied. Every the ballpark.
Yeah.
And look, as good as Camden, as great of Camden Yards was as that first kind of retro ballpark, baseball only park. That's everybody else just copied them. And there's the ball from ballpark to ballpark in the major leagues is way more monotonous than it is from in the college ranks. And you got all these. You got that elevated, like that little tailgate, true tailgate area down the right field line at Pete Taylor in Hattiesburg, where you pay for your slot, your pickup truck, you pull it, you have a view of the game from your damn pickup. I mean, there's tailgating on the tailgate, Charlie. That's the way it's supposed to be done.
They do that.
Duty Noble is just awesome.
Auburn, they're hanging out at the parking garage.
I mean, it's just you have a lot of these little nooks and crannies and just kind of, a lot more character from part. That West Virginia place was going nuts, man. Lincoln, how about Lawrence?
Lawrence was great.
Huh?
The first ever. Look, they were in close quarters too. To win those games against Arkansas yesterday. When they Saturday in the Marble game, they get to the 6th inning tied, and Dietz is still in the game for Arkansas, and Kansas
just gave up a 2-run homer.
It made because he was to make it 3-3.
Yeah. He was a career strikeout, 14 strikeouts for Dietz in that game.
And so you figure if you're Arkansas, if your ace is still in the game and Kansas is already in their bullpen, Kansas's ace had an ERA of 6. So you got to figure they're not as deep as you.
No,
I felt really good about Arkansas.
No, I did.
At that
I
point.
felt just the opposite.
Really?
Wait a minute. I got Dietz, he struck out more guys than he ever has before, and I'm still tied against. It's like not making a run when Wimmet is on the bench. Well, that's the way I viewed it. No, I knew they were in trouble because he was. I think the 2-run homer was either the 5th or the 6th that Dietz gave up.
It was either
5th.
It was in the 5th. It was in the 5th. So I mean, he started the 6th. He goes back out there.
Yeah, but I mean, you had to get a lead out of that matchup, and you didn't get a lead, man. You kind of kept him hanging around because he had his stuff working. He brought his best stuff to the mound that night.
Fair enough. This is why I felt good about Arkansas. If I'm into Kansas's bullpen, if Kansas's frontline starters are heavy ERAs of 6, and I get into that bullpen, I got to figure I can make some.
Just the opposite.
Well, you were right because that bullpen threw 4 1/3 shutout innings against Arkansas, and I wouldn't have figured that they would do that.
Kansas had a better year than Arkansas. That's why they're the host. Okay, and they're a number 1 seed and a host. Not because the guy who's with the 6-point ERA, who they threw out there in that game. And that's not why.
And then
they're winning other ways.
They outslugged them in the last game. Arkansas was kind of fortunate. They held on against Northeastern.
I saw a young team I saw those 2 regionals up in that area, that traditional Big 8 area. Lawrence and Lincoln.
Mm-hmm.
All right, where the crowd lifted the team. They don't win it. It's my opinion. They don't win it. If they're not playing there, and the other one where the home field almost it caused them to be too tight. They weren't loose until they're down 11-0 in Lincoln. I thought it hurt them, actually.
Something did because they hadn't lost in that ballpark. They lost one time all year in that ballpark.
But they're kicking the ball all around.
I know.
And they're the highest fielding percentage. I mean, they
985 they fielded for the season. What about Gainesville? This was one of the more outlandish outcomes to me. They're going to play Game 7 tonight, Florida and Troy. But Kevin O'Sullivan, we debate this every year, Jimmy. Hold your ace or throw your ace. Hold your ace, throw your ace. Sully holds his top two and goes on Friday night with Russell Sandifer.
Friday afternoon.
Friday afternoon.
It was against Ryder, right?
Against Ryder.
Right.
Well, his number 3 throws 5 2/3 shutout innings.
Right.
And you got a 4-0 lead going to the 8th, and they give up 6.
Four.
I believe it was. They give up 6 in the 8th. Florida comes back and ties it in the bottom of the 8th, 6-6.
They take the lead in the 9th.
They take the lead 7-6 in the 9th. Florida walks it off in the bottom of the 9th and wins it 8-7.
No, it's a very shaky run. Like, oh man, there's problems in Gainesville, and then your scoreboard watch it like, oh, it's not shaky. Southern Miss is already out. Okay, that's who we're matched up with. We fear them. And then if we do get to Omaha and we have ambitions, UCLA's out.
They do.
You know, they're matched up with them.
But they got to get there.
I understand, but there was another game too where they pitched down. That wasn't the problem. Or they saved their ace, and the ace got rocked.
Well, that's what I want to get to with Florida.
Because
King gets crushed.
You saw the first batter. I mean, dead center. I'm like, oh, there's a lazy fly ball to center field. No, it carries. He takes him out of the park. Might have been the first pitch of the game. So then he gets out of it. They give up. They score six in the bottom.
They were up 6-1.
6-1 after one, and then he gets hit for about 5 or 6 more runs. And
he gave up 6 runs in 3 innings and got lifted.
He got in 8-7, I think. When he left, and then Florida explodes again and wins by like 14-7.
22-10 was the final.
22-10.
Yeah.
22-10.
But okay, and at that point you're like, all right, well, this has been kind of clunky, but we're going with our number 2, Liam Peterson, who was a number 1 last year, who has been rock solid for them down the stretch. You're going, you got a winner's bracket game. Troy's got to come back through this thing and beat Miami. That's another slugfest. That was 9-6.
You speak fondly a lot of Liam Peterson, okay? And that's fine based on what he's done. And he has been a number 1 for a very good program. But he has not been what he has been in the past.
Well, he was terrible yesterday. Yeah, he was
for
awful.
most of this season. He has been pretty shaky, Charlie. And so, but still, he at least is comfortable. You think comfortable on his stage, and then Troy, who who's got knocked around, kind of bullied by USM in their conference tournament. They won. That's the one they won the Grand Slam walk off.
Yeah,
it was Troy had the 3-run lead.
Yeah.
And, when they gave up the 2-out Grand Slam in the 9th.
Troy scored 40 runs in the last 3 games, and I don't know who Florida's going to pitch today because they have used up.
So you say Troy's got a fighting chance?
If they're going to get into a slugfest, they won the slugfest last night 16-11. I'm expecting another big.
You know what I
got
to say about those bats? They're hot. They're usually going to stay hot.
40 runs in 3 games is about as hot as it gets.
Who did they play in their first game?
They played Miami.
Played Miami and
now,
lost.
They only scored 5 runs
lost.
in that game. That was Friday.
Okay.
They came back and they beat Ryder 15-7, and then they beat Miami 9-6, and then they beat Florida 16-11. So
they're getting their bats are getting hotter and hotter the deeper they're getting into some of these pitchers. So,
I really don't. I mean, I don't know.
So Florida's going to have less pitching than they had yesterday.
Yes.
They got knocked around. Yeah.
I'm expecting another. Max, you got a total for us on that game because I can't imagine.
Troy, Florida.
Yeah.
16.
16.
16 is
for the
total.
Lay it.
Yeah.
Over.
Yeah. I'm with you.
I don't have any problem there.
So what's they swinging the bats now? Florida. It's not because they're bats. I mean, how many runs they've scored in 3 games? 12 a game. Oh, no more than that.
Scored 11, 33, and 41 in 3 games. Yeah, so.
That's pretty good.
Yes, it is. College Station, we're going to have a Game 7 there tonight. That's the late game.
I think more runs there.
Well, USC swinging pretty hot bats.
Very much hotter, and we got to think about where they play a lot of the times. Keep in mind, they play a lot of their games at night also, and they were talking about that this past weekend in Los Angeles at UCLA. The ball does carry more in the daytime at Jackie Robinson Field. A lot of their games are at night, and it's just low. a little heavier.
I was just looking at USC's pitching, availabilities because they don't have a very deep bullpen. They haven't really used all that many arms this year. But because they've had blowouts the last 3 games, they've been able to use a lot of guys for an inning each. And so they've got quite a few guys available, including, a starter at times this year for them. So, Chase Harrell, they've got 3 or 4 guys who are decent bullpen arms that are available tonight. So I think they're in a good position against the Aggies.
They haven't quite scored as many runs as those teams in Florida. They've only scored 38 runs in their last 3 games.
USC?
Yeah.
And A&M, I mean, look, we even saw this in the regular season. Remember that series? Was the last or second to last series against Mississippi State? I mean, it's like slow pitch softball. I mean, that park, the ball carries pretty good in that park. I think you're going to – and they can hit it. But USC – A&M's hit all season. This USC thing is kind of out of nowhere, and you got to, until they, why wouldn't their bats stay hot against more compromised pitching?
USC is 38 runs, 48 runs. 48 runs.
What did I say?
38.
38. Oh, I'm sorry, 48.
Yeah, they're putting up some runs.
48 runs, yeah.
That's
And
16.
A&M, didn't A&M fall behind 5-0 on Friday night to Lamar and had to come back and win it 7-5?
Oh, yeah.
So they've been shaky the whole weekend.
Yeah, that was game 1 on Friday, and because I was like, oh, look at Will's team.
Davis,
yeah, and then it kind of Lamar played. That was the second game. Lamar played A&M first, right?
Yeah, they got up 5-0, and
they got up 5-0 on A&M.
Yeah,
right,
that's right.
Right, and USC lit them up pretty good.
Yes.
Yeah, they beat them 19-6. Will's on his way to Houston. Take the
He's got a chance to win there, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
UCLA hadn't lost a home series, hadn't lost any series all year, and they lose twice to St. Mary's.
A little bit of this was creeping, okay? And I talked about that Washington series where they should have lost 2 out of 3. Washington's not even a tournament team. Last out of the game in a rubber game, grounded to short. I mean, you have D1 shortstop. You make that play, 19 out of 20, 29 out of 30. He bobbled it. Next guy gets a hit. They lose it. That's a series they should have lost 2 out of 3. We talk about the games in Omaha. They're down to their last out in a semifinal game against USC. They had to walk off in the ninth inning against Purdue in the quarters. Purdue's not in the tournament team. And then in the finals, they had to go extra innings against Oregon. All 3 games in the regional. So we're talking about 3 in Seattle, 3 in Omaha, all 3 in Los Angeles. They're just living. I mean, they're playing so many close games.
Right.
You're going to lose a few. And Chalowski was kind of the common theme. He was not killing it over that 9-game stretch. He just wasn't.
Jimmy, that was a really good Big Ten final you mentioned against Oregon. That was so tight.
Great.
That went to extra innings. But
Extra
they had
innings, you mean?
Extra innings. They had 2 calls, bang bang, reviews. Could have gone either way. That went in their favor. So it was neck and neck in that Big Ten final.
Something else about UCLA. All those games you're talking about, they all happened after Logan Redmond, who was their ace, their undefeated ace. He left in mid-April and didn't pitch again. So you removed that number 1 guy from the rotation.
Slides down a little bit.
Everybody else, yeah. They lost him on April 17th, and he never pitched again. So.
But Chalowski was just my guy.
Chalowski,
you know what I mean?
No
you know what I mean?
there.
And look, like impatient at bats. I think the one against USC when 2 on, they're down 1, 2 on, 1 out, and I think it was the first pitch he popped up. I know it was the first pitch against the second game. The game they came back and won. In the bottom of the 8th, he had 2 on, 2 out. He pops up on the first pitch because they kept showing him in the dugout when they're making a comeback. And the guy that Levu, the guy that bats behind him, bailed him out both times against USC in the semifinal in the Big Ten tournament and here. So look, he's a big, strong guy that can field the shortstop position. He's got all the he's just not killing it like you think maybe he could in these spots.
He'll be the first or second pick in the draft. There's some talk now the White Sox may take the high school shortstop instead of him, and he may go number 2. But he ain't going any lower than that.
Charlie, this is where we talk about it's hot. It's total maintenance.
Oh, total maintenance.
Yes,
nobody likes to go to sleep.
It was a hot
service today every day. No, I know it was my spot. I thought it was yours.
No, it's. I mean, if you did not get it serviced, okay? If you didn't get it serviced and, now you got to – even if it's struggling, if it's taking a little bit longer than it should to cool down properly, you got to call 480-1000. 480-1000, Total Maintenance, one of South Louisiana's oldest and largest AC heating companies since 1980. AC heating, generator installations, maintenance, service today, every day. Same-day service means you will never sleep hot. You call today, get service today. My buddy Lucas Ferguson put together a great team over at Total Maintenance that covers all of the New Orleans area and the Baton Rouge area, but they have completely different staffs and offices, so they are not compromised. Total Maintenance, 480-1000.
Florida State continues to hold a 1-0 lead on St. John's in the bottom of the fourth inning. The Johnnies are the home team here. They have the leadoff man on to open here in the bottom of the fourth. Live at Chris's Specialty Foods, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch with Out and Yanni. Live from Chris's Specialty Foods on Highland Road.
And we return here at Chris's Specialty Foods. We got a Blockbuster trade in the NFL.
Oh, I hope it's a little bit more than you. Serena Williams coming back to play doubles.
This is a bigger story.
So there's other things going on in the French Open.
That one was just for you. That one was just for you.
Well, I thought you wanted to hear about the new Spaniard on clay.
Not right this second. I'd rather hear about this trade.
Okay.
Rams had a first-round pick this year. They took a future quarterback in Ty Simpson that's going to sit behind Matt Stafford, but they're still going all in on this season. They have traded for Myles Garrett. Myles Garrett coming in from the Browns. They did renegotiate his contract, restructured a little bit back in March, moved the options, bonuses, and stuff to kind of make him more tradable. They said they weren't going to trade him. They did anyway. Jared Verse, a 2027 first-round pick, and other draft pick compensation still being negotiated going to the Browns.
I like this trade for both teams, and I don't usually say that. The Rams – I like Jared Verse an awful lot. I'll talk about him in a second. But Garrett is the premier pass rusher in the league right now, in my opinion. And the Rams are, they've got one more year of Matthew Stafford, maybe two, but probably one. You're trying to win the Super Bowl this year. Still don't understand the Simpson pick, but okay. If you're going to – this is a reasonable price to pay. A player and a first-round pick for a guy that's that good and, another pick somewhere down the line. The Rams are trying to win the Super Bowl this year. Cleveland's not going to win the Super Bowl this year. Cleveland's not going to make the playoffs this year. They still don't have a quarterback. You get younger. You get cheaper. You get some draft capital. This makes sense for me.
Draft capital, and they already have some extra capital for next year. They traded back. They traded for some picks next year. They add a first-round pick, so that gives them more ammunition to trade up for a high quarterback next year if they need to. It makes a lot of sense for the Browns, who are coming off of back-to-back really promising drafts.
You're our Cleveland correspondent.
Does this feel the misstep, or does this explain or justify them taking Simpson in the draft? Or is this like, okay, well, whatever, why we took him, this Simpson's not helping us win the Super Bowl this year. We know that, okay? They're the favorite to win it. They'd probably be even more favorite if they took an impact player who they may or may not have had an impact this year as a rookie defensive player, receiver, somebody like that. But is it like, why did we take Simpson again?
Yeah, it makes it a bigger head scratch.
And this is, knowing the Rams' history, this is way more in tune today what the Rams have done as opposed to what they did on draft night.
They traded a first-round pick for Trent McDuffie earlier. And
how many years in a row they didn't have a first-round pick?
Like 7, I believe it was. It was like from 17 to 24.
They used to do their, like,
17 to 20,
have like a
25.
draft coverage.
Yeah.
And they just showed
they were at McVay's house.
Out of the office or something.
Right.
So they had 2 last year, traded 1 for McDuffie. I guess I'm on an island here, and I like the Ty Simpson move for their future, but they don't need a first-round pick next year because they're going all in.
Too many question marks there. We don't know if Ty Simpson's any good.
That's the biggest thing to me.
But he's got time.
I do know one thing. What is proven to be to help some guys, whether you're Brock Purdy, whether you're Bo Nix, it's playing. He didn't play. Played 1 year in college. I mean, he could have played with Alabama. He could have played with Miami. He could have played. I mean, why? I just didn't. From a coach's son perspective, I don't get it. Where, man, they going to give you feedback. That DeBoer is talking to scouts. You're talking to scouts. You're talking to front office people. They're telling you how valuable it is to go play. Have they not?
Yeah.
To where it's almost uniform, and rarely do they get one sort of opinion, a collective opinion. The more reps you get, it is a value to your preparation.
The one interesting thing about this, and we don't know if this was sort of promised to him or linked to him or whatever, his dad, Ty Simpson's dad, had a relationship with the Rams GM Les Snead. They went back a ways. So I wonder if Snead said, hey, if you come into the draft, we're going to take you. And if we're your floor, we can set you up under the McVay offense, and we think it can work. That to me, is the only explanation for why Simpson would take that over coming back to college.
And guess what,
for
Max? In
year.
life, when you have relationships, it has compromised your hire and your decisions to bring people on because it's comfortable.
Sure.
Sometimes it works out because you do have a comfort value. Sometimes that comfort level can be lazy or can be insightful sometimes based on the player. We all know 1 year is just not a ton for a guy to play in college football to prepare you. He's not going to get it in playing in scrimmages and practice with non-contact jerseys. And how many real game experience is he going to have until you throw him in there and then you compromise? And then when he's playing the next few years, they're not challenging for the Super Bowl.
It mitigates the one advantage he does have, which is that he does not have to come in and start. You know, the most recent Jordan Love didn't have to come in and start, but he started 32 games in college, okay? More than twice as many as Simpson. Ordinarily, I love the idea of bringing in a quarterback that doesn't have to play.
He played a lot.
Of not having to play immediately, that's great. But only if you've played a lot in college. You know, otherwise it may actually set you back a little bit. I could have stomached them taking a quarterback if it would have been a different quarterback.
It's the one position you just can't simulate a game. You got the non-contact jersey on.
Yeah.
And so even like a Trinidad Chambliss, playing at a low level, but he's getting better there. I mean, he doesn't perform like he did last year at Ole Miss if he's sitting on the bench at Ole Miss. I can't believe that. And I don't think that, Bo Nix, if he comes out 2 years after Auburn and sits for that, he's not getting better. He's good with a good coach, too. Purdy, he's had 50 starts at Iowa State. I mean, it helps because the practice, it's not real football. You have a non-contact jersey on. It's a lot different quarterbacking when you know you have no threat of being hit.
I will say he will get likely a lot more training camp run than the average rookie quarterback because Stafford tends to not really participate
Stafford
that
doesn't
much.
need to practice all that much.
He's going to get all of that.
Yeah, he's
going to get all of that.
So at least he's working with ones, even though it's not.
You're
like you said, real
really
stuff.
trying to work on this, dig deep on trying to put
I don't think
a flowery touch on this thing.
I don't think it's the best ever for Ty Simpson. I think it would have been better off. But I think it's good for the Rams.
Sometimes the slam dunk things are exactly that, a slam dunk. This was a miss by the Cardinal. By the Rams. This was a miss.
We'll see.
On draft night.
I think, and this is a good trade for Cleveland. If you're trying to fix that mess, you still don't have a quarterback, but you weren't going to be able to fix that anyway. So now like you say, you got some ammo, you got younger, you got cheaper. I don't say very often. Wow, I really like what Cleveland did there.
They had a couple good off seasons.
But Charlie, most trades that the teams are making them because they think they're getting better on it. But this,
sure they do. I don't always think that.
I know that. I know that. But they're supposed to work for both teams. So I don't know.
I like Jared Verse as a player. I mean,
does this recover what they did? Their approach on draft night, though.
No, it complicates it. It means more. Why did you do that? If you're going to do this, why did you?
I can see it being interpreted both ways.
Yeah.
I mean, if you knew on draft night that they were getting Myles Garrett, it might.
They've added McDuffie and Garrett now in the offseason. Like, do they? I guess they needed another draft pick as well.
If they would have taken one of those receivers in that spot,
where did they get the receiver? When did they finally get a receiver? They never took a receiver later. Because that's the thing.
I don't remember, but I know Mekhi Lemon was on the board at that point.
No. Yeah,
Rams added C.J. Daniels in the 6th round.
We know him a little bit.
Max Clare, the tight end in the 2nd round. That's a pass catcher.
Yeah, Claire's a good player, and we know about C.J. Daniels, but he's a complimentary piece. He's not a main guy.
Don't forget over here, Chris's Specialty Foods. I mean, so many things to come and get and put on your green egg at the Thibodeau store, the stuffed chickens, either with the boudin cornbread, crawfish rice, shrimp and rice, broccoli and rice, bacon wrapped chicken thighs. Man, you talk about good seasoned, the marinated spinach stuffed breasts, seasoned wings, the pork. You got the tenderloins, cream cheese and jalapeno stuffed pork tenderloins. Boudin stuff, pork sausage. I mean, you talk about really good. The center cut pork chops, baby back ribs, bacon wrapped pork chops. So beef, we got the smoked brisket. Wagyu ground beef is really popular over here. Pork sausage stuffed brisket. We go on and on. Meatloaf, wild game, alligator, frogs, rabbit, lamb, the cornbread dressing and sides like the stuffed potatoes, cream spinach, mac and cheese, the green bean casserole. All wonderful stuff. Soups and gumbos like the chicken and sausage gumbo or the seafood gumbo, the crawfish or shrimp etouffee as well. All over here at Chris's Specialty Foods where, man, it's a lot of it is ready to go. Bring it home. Maybe some have to, if it's frozen, defrost a couple of hours, it's ready to go. And if not, you can pick it up fresh. Different specialty sausages, ground meat, you name it. We've got tons of things over here to please every palate when you're grilling at home.
Team's out of pitching, apparently not in Tallahassee. Still 1-0. Florida State in the top of the fifth inning against St. John's. Again, Florida State's got to win twice today to advance. Johnnies only need one. Live at Chris's Specialty Foods, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch with Ott and Yanni. Live from Chris's Specialty Foods on Highland Road.
And return here at Chris's Specialty Foods, live at lunch. Just a few weeks away from Father's Day. Let the folks at Thibodeau store help you out with gifts for Dad. We've got specials right now on tools from Stanley, Milwaukee, DeWalt, and Channel Lock. We've got specialty deals on outdoor patio furniture, poolside furniture, also Cypress furniture. We've got the rockers, we've got the gliders, we've got the benches, you've got the swings. All of them specially made at the Thibodeau store. Outdoor cooking equipment, outdoor power equipment, cordless power tools, and a whole lot more. Check it out at thethibodauxstore.com. You can get to all four of their locations in Thibodaux, in Pierrepont, in Larose, and in Lockport. Also, lumber delivery available out of Lockport and out of Pierrepont. So if you're doing those summertime construction projects, check it out at thethibodauxstore.com. And if you're visiting in person, 900 St. Patrick Highway in Thibodaux and Highway 70 in Pierrepont. All right, Max, try to explain to me like I don't know the format because I'm only vaguely familiar with it. And what happened in this miraculous golf tournament, golf comeback for LSU yesterday in California.
Yeah, so it's certainly not over. There's still some action to get underway this afternoon. It'll be on the Golf Channel. LSU still alive in the men's team championship. So the individual and team are contested at the same time this week. They're at Omni La Costa over in California, Carlsbad. And LSU was getting roughed up. There were 30 teams that advanced from regionals. LSU was one of them. But they were dead last at one point Saturday, late in the round. They ended up entering the third round.
30 for 30.
Third of four rounds. They were tied for 27th, a ways out of what is a 15-team cut after Sunday. So after three rounds, they narrowed the 30 down to 15. From the 15 today, they will narrow down to 8. From that 8, they go to a quarterfinal, semifinal, final match play bracket format. So that's a little more traditional to what you'd see in a team sport. They will cut it to 8 and then have a bracket for the team championship. But LSU going from 27th to 15th required an 18 under par round from 4 of the top 5 players. They take 4 of the top 5 scores. Dan Hayes set a course record, 8 under par, 64. And then you got 4 under par, 3 under par, 3 under par from the other 3 that counted. It was incredible considering that the course does not play that easy. The next best round yesterday from any team was 9 under. They made a ton of ground, and they still have a chance now to make it in the top 8. They are only 3 back of Duke, who's currently holding 8th place. going into the final round where they will set the bracket play for the championship.
Kid shot a 64?
64,
what's his name?
Dan Hayes.
Dan Hayes, wow.
Usual suspects: Wake Forest, Texas, Oklahoma State.
No Wake Forest,
Really?
but you've got Texas, Vanderbilt, and Auburn currently leading the way in the team. The thing is, once you get in the Final Eight, it is wide open. That just determines seeding. There's no advantage to playing really well in stroke play. The individual championship will be decided today. Currently, Preston Stout leading that one for Oklahoma State. But if you get in the top 8, it's anybody's game at that point, and LSU certainly got a chance to do that after what seemed like they were done. After yesterday, it seemed like they were going to be done, but a miraculous, historic type of round in the men's golf game.
Fighting Fowlers, the guy from Oklahoma State.
Yeah, Preston Stout, Oklahoma State. He's one of the top amateur players. There's a clear top amateur player. That's Jackson Coyven out of Auburn. Auburn is leading the team event right now, but Coyven is 5 back. Hasn't had his best stuff. Was shot even par yesterday. Had a rough front 9, so he's 5 back. I guess he still has a chance, but Preston Stout, 1-shot lead over 3 guys at 10 under.
LSU has won 5 national championships in golf. The most recent in 2015. Jimmy, I believe that happened. We were watching that when we were doing the show in 2015. The other ones are back in the 40s and 50s. So modern day, 2015, they won the national championships. They got shot.
You and Ravs were at the original City Park right
City
there
Park
by
the
the Perkins overpass.
Yeah, I remember that. So good luck to those guys. That's. No,
that was Burns was on the team, right?
Yeah, I think. Yeah, in fact, I'm not even sure he was a senior on that team. I think he was like a sophomore, maybe on that team.
Right.
Yeah, Max, going out and shooting this number, trying to follow it up.
Well, that's the cliche is it's hard to follow up a great round with another great round.
Yeah.
Now, the one thing I will say they have going for them is the score that didn't count was Noah McWilliams, who's one of their better players. He actually didn't have his best stuff yesterday, so you'd think maybe he can bounce back and be one of those 4 scores that count today. But it will be tough. They are 3 back. There's a lot of good teams ahead of them. Florida's right now on the outside looking in. That is ahead of them right now. But the fact that they even have a chance is miraculous considering where they stood after 2 rounds.
Well, good for them. Hopefully they'll.
And you can watch it on the Golf Channel this afternoon.
Oh, really?
Late viewing. It'll be on the Golf Channel about 3, 4, 5 o'clock. Sometime this afternoon, they'll determine an individual champion, but also determine the final 8 for the team championship.
Kirk held on yesterday. It was Chris Kirk when
Russell Henley.
Henley came back and won.
Came back. He birdied the last 3 holes, 16, 17, 18, in a playoff. Took down Eric Cole, who did not choke.
Eric Cole. Why does Kirk and Cole always get missed?
Eric Cole
really?
Did not play bad, considering he was chasing his first victory. He played.
He was like
within
in
himself.
7th place with like 4 holes to go.
He had like a 0.2% chance of winning at one point. But birdies the last 3 at a tough golf course. By the way, you say all of us golf fans complain all the time, whether it's too hard, too easy. Colonial,
no,
perfect.
Not all the time.
Perfect, Colonial.
They perfect. What is perfect here?
Like 12 under. There were birdies. There were bogeys. There was movement. I mean, you're
pleased. You're pleased without
very pleased with the golf course.
Okay.
It was a good event, despite the fact the field wasn't that strong.
The golf course won, Jimmy. Him and
But
Rab, they're always
it wasn't
excited with the
unreasonable.
golf course.
It wasn't unreasonable. It was a
The
great
only
test.
thing I can listen to. I mean, everybody's playing the same course. So if it was tough for everybody, it's tough. It was easy. The only thing is those split tee times on Thursday and Friday. There are wind shifts where it's clearly tougher, and that's part of just kind of the luck of the draw.
We actually saw BYU in the men's NCAAs this week. They got to play on Thursday by themselves because they couldn't play on Sundays. So they actually granted them a chance to play their round 3.
You start making exceptions, for one team because they can't play on a Sunday. Then you get what you get. So that shouldn't happen. I mean, they do it. It's a matter of luck. I mean, that's why who has the morning tee time on Thursday, they flip-flop as Friday and vice versa. But it can shift in those 2 days, as we've seen a lot. It happens regularly.
BYU ended up missing that 15-team cut, so they're not playing today.
Should have.
One other college baseball game that we hadn't gotten to yet that's going to go this afternoon is Oklahoma and Georgia Tech. It's actually the second game. Goes at 2 o'clock.
Oklahoma's found their bats all of a sudden. Huh?
Okay, so this should have been – well, I thought it was going to be a cakewalk. I don't know that anybody was playing any better than Georgia Tech. in the last month.
No,
of the
they were the favorite.
Yeah, heavy favorite. And they go out the first night. They beat Illinois Chicago, who's one of the lowest seeded teams in the field, beat them by 17. Then it rains. So not only does Georgia Tech get the win,
They played them early Friday. I remember. Not night.
They get to prop their feet up, and Oklahoma's got to play the early game. They beat the Citadel, and then Citadel ended up knocking out Illinois Chicago, and Georgia Tech thumps Oklahoma on Saturday night. Easy, 9-3, walked away with it. So Oklahoma's got to come back on Sunday. They got to beat the Citadel, and then they go into this game against Georgia Tech. And I thought, missed on this game. I thought Georgia Tech was going to close this out very easy fashion, and Oklahoma scored 15 runs on them.
I know.
Blew my mind. Oklahoma had 2 games yesterday. They scored 15 runs in both of them. 15 against the Citadel.
Florida not closing out a more taxed pitching staff in Troy last night. Georgia Tech not finishing off Oklahoma when their pitching staff they had to play an extra. Keep in mind they started later too. They actually started. Their first game was on Saturday morning. That Citadel game.
Yeah.
So they had to play multiple games.
2 games in one day.
Yeah, and come back and do it again on Sunday. So they played 4 games in 2 days, right? Saturday and Sunday.
They did.
Yeah,
they did.
So I mean that even makes it tougher. And yeah, that's man something. Man, I think it's been great. You don't know. There were times in these tournaments where man the smaller teams, the lower seeds, they just didn't compete at all. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if there's just a lot more kids playing baseball. Man, I know this. You got some really good high school baseball players. Have to go junior college. A lot of them. Mm-hmm. The only people who used to go to junior college were people with no grades and no conduct. I mean, now it's like it's a regularity for really good kids because nobody's signing, the high school players, the elite players. But I mean, why? The only theory I have is they're not finding the better mid-major players as much in baseball as they are in basketball. Because we've seen where the shift in the roster, the new rules now, man, it has killed March. It's really hurt March Madness. It has killed Cinderella. Cinderella seems like she's stronger than ever in this NCAA baseball tournament.
And Jimmy, if they weren't finding the good players, it wouldn't have held up. I mean, you take teams like Nebraska.
LSU sure tried to get some lower-level players. Huh?
Southern Miss, UCLA, these teams that were good all season long, and Auburn and Florida, who are hanging on for dear life right now. These were all, for 56 games, really, really good baseball teams.
It was a lot more pressure. And then all of a sudden, and it's all of a get to the pressure innings. When all of a sudden, UCLA's getting a close game. All of a sudden, I mean, Southern Miss didn't kick it around. They just didn't. Arkansas Little Rock got some solid pitching, and that was close the whole time. In Arkansas Little Rock, there's a little bit of playing with the house's nothing to lose type of approach. Hey, man, I'm on this stage. We hadn't had one game on TV at Arkansas Little Rock a whole season, minus some website or whatever, and we just go and play. We're on the stage. It seems like there's a lot of that element going on where some of these teams are and some where the stage. The UCLA thing, Charlie, that's 9 straight games, man, where they were showing some signs.
Yeah.
So.
And again, losing the ace was a big deal. And I'd say this about St. John's. Okay, they were good all season. We just didn't notice them. They won the regular season title. They shared it with 2 other teams,
and then they won
and then they won the tournament, the Big East tournament.
Big East is awful, though.
Well. Yeah, except they're playing Florida State off their feet here.
Well,
so
the East is awful also in the NBA playoffs. So, don't tell that to people in New York.
Oklahoma, Georgia Tech going off at 2. We do have reported starting pitchers for this game. It's not official, but Carson Ballard for Georgia Tech, 6-0 with 3.55 ERA, 7 starts on the season. Also 7 starts for Oklahoma's reported starter, who is Michael Catalano. He has not pitched since Florida back on May the 2nd, so it's been a month since we've seen him. But similar advanced analytics, but a 7 ERA for
Didn't Ballard pitch Friday for Georgia Tech?
No, I thought he was going to pitch, I think.
Ballard has pitched already in this
So he pitched the first game.
How far did he go? Do you remember? It was like 3 innings or something.
I'll have an update for you.
Okay.
I think it was Friday, but I don't remember.
We'll do that when we come back here. At Chris's Specialty Foods, we're on Highland Road across from Rufino's, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
and Yanni, live from Chris's Specialty Foods on Highland Road.
St. John's with the tying runs aboard with one out in the bottom of the fifth inning, 2-0 Florida State in game number one. Max, pitch an update on the next game that's going to go at 2 o'clock. This is Oklahoma and Georgia Tech, winner take all.
Yeah, so again, both these starters, 7 starts this season. Michael Catalano has not pitched in a month, 7 ERA for him, 7 point something or another, 7.12. The Georgia Tech pitcher did pitch 4 innings on Friday against Illinois Chicago, 59 pitches. So 59 pitches for a Georgia Tech starter, but not officially announced, but that's what's reported. It's expected. He's got a 3.55 ERA, 6-0 record, and again, 7 starts.
That's upper end pitch count for 2 days rest, 59. 50 is usually the cutoff, but desperate times call for desperate measures, so you get what you can out of him. I don't think it's arm abuse or anything like that. I just don't know what you can get
they took
out
him
of
out when they had that monster lead on Friday afternoon. So,
yeah.
I mean, why not? I mean, it was bombs. They scored like 20-something runs.
22-5.
Yeah, 22.
So, I mean, that's smart. I mean, you did it, and for this reason. I think you can get 5 innings out of him today, Charlie, 75 pitches.
75, puts
if
you
he's
120,
effective.
30. Yeah, that's 130. It might be a little bit high end.
Page and Keith.
But it's
we have seen it before.
in the postseason.
We have seen it before.
Yeah, for sure.
We saw Stanford pitch a guy after 152 pitches or something. I remember that one. There was one of the more
the
egregious
guy for
ones.
Stanford, 150. What was the guy for Texas that threw almost 200? It was Augie was still a coach there. He took a lot of heat for that. I think his name was Wood. He threw like 185 pitches or something like that.
St. John's got something cooking here. It's a wild pitch, ball 4. So bases juice with 1 out.
2-0 Florida State, but St. John's threatening here. All right,
St. John's 2-1. Wow.
Chris's Specialty Foods. Come on by and pick up something for the night, for the weekend. You got to
throw it in the oven, throw it on the grill. We got a lot of different sausages, cheese, chicken. Pork, beef. Prepared foods, prepared sides. A fresh sausage and boudins that we've done. So many different things. So crawfish and seafood, like the crawfish pies, crab meat pies, stuffed shrimp, salmon burgers, crab cakes, seafood stuffed bell peppers, stuffed portobello mushrooms, jalapeno, chicken and sausage. They've got mounds and mounds of stuff to choose from over here at Chris's.
nice selection of wine and spirits also. If you're looking for something to pair, you can pick those up here at Chris's Specialty Foods.
Texas up 4-1 over Tennessee in the softball, too.
That's been fun.
That's an
softball.
elimination game,
Great.
Texas and Tennessee, or is that a winner's bracket game?
I know Texas Tech
Just giving
is
you the
losing
scores,
coming
Charlie.
out.
Can you do anything?
Tomorrow we're Mike Anderson's. Have a great day, everybody. Stay tuned for Hunt on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.